I learned something at 97 that I wish someone had told me at 70. Not every truth needs to be shared. Not with your children. Not with your closest friends. Not with anyone. Now, before you think I am talking about lying, I am not. I am talking about something different, something wiser. I am talking about the art of knowing what to protect. Because here is what nobody tells you about life after 70. The more you share, the more complicated everything becomes. The more you open up even to people who love you, the more you invite opinions, judgments, and interference into a life that finally deserves to be peaceful. I learned this the hard way, through friendships that changed after I said too much, through family dynamics that shifted the moment I opened doors that should have stayed closed, through years of wishing I had kept certain things quietly, privately, sacredly mine. So today I am going to give you 7 things. 7 things you should never share with friends after 70. Not because you are ashamed of them, but because your peace is worth protecting. Stay with me all the way through, because number 7 is the one most people never think about, and it might be the most important one of all. Secret 1, your exact financial situation. The moment you open the financial curtain, the moment you tell people exactly what you have, what you saved, what you own, everything shifts. I watched a friend do this at 79. She sat down with people she trusted and laid everything out. What she had in the bank, what the house was worth, what she planned to leave behind. She expected closeness. She got something else entirely. Suddenly, people had opinions about her spending. Should you really be taking that trip? That seems expensive for where you are in life. Suddenly, every decision she made felt like it needed approval. And some people who had barely been present before became very interested very quickly, not in her, in what she had. You do not owe anyone your bank statements. What you saved is yours. What you choose to do with it is yours. Keep it that way. Secret 2, every health complaint. Your body is changing. That is real. That is normal. Some days things ache that never used to ache. And when you love the people in your life, you want to share that. But here is what you rarely consider. The moment you mention sore shoulders or a dizzy morning, your children hear something completely different than what you said. Yeah, a woman I know mentioned her shoulders were sore after yard work. Just that. Sore shoulders. Her daughter panicked, started calling twice a day, suggested hiring help, questioned whether she should be driving at night. One woman, sore shoulders, suddenly treated like she was made of glass. If something serious is happening, share it. Absolutely. You deserve support when it truly matters. But every ache, every stiff joint, every restless night, you do not need to broadcast it. Because once people start seeing you as fragile, that lens is very hard to remove. You are more than what hurts. Protect that story. Stay with me. Because secrets 3 and 4 are the ones that have ended more friendships than most people realize. And I almost lost someone precious because I did not know them yet. Secret 3, your opinions about other people's families. At this age, we have wisdom, real wisdom, earned wisdom. And when we see something going wrong in someone's family, a child being raised in a way that worries us, a marriage that seems troubled, a decision that looks like a mistake, we feel the pull to say something, just a gentle word, just a soft suggestion. Do not. I say that with love and from experience. A friend of mine made one quiet comment about a grandchild's behavior. Not unkind, not loud, One sentence. The calls stopped coming. The invitations stopped. A friendship of 30 years cooled over one sentence. Because no matter how gently you say something, people hear it through their own emotional filter. What you offer as wisdom, they receive as judgment. What you mean as care, they experience as criticism. You do not have to attend every conversation you are invited into. You can love people deeply and still keep your opinions quietly to yourself. That is not distance. That is wisdom. Secret 4, your regrets. We all carry them, the places we never went, the paths we did not take, the version of life we sometimes wonder about in the quiet hours. And sometimes those reflections surface in conversation. A passing sigh, a gentle, I wish I had. But here is the thing nobody tells you about sharing regrets with the people you love. What feels like honest reflection to you feels like rejection to them. When you say, I wish I had traveled more, your daughter hears you are not enough. When you say, I should have chosen differently, your son hears this life. The one we shared was not what I wanted. You are trying to share something human. They are hearing something personal. Keep your regrets close, not because they are shameful, because they are sacred, and because the people you love deserve to believe that the life you built together, with all its imperfections, was worth everything. 3 more. And secret number 6 is the one that surprised me most when I finally understood it. Do not go anywhere. Secret 5. Your asset plans and inheritance details. You need a will. You need your affairs in order. That is not what I am questioning. What I am saying is this: the detailed conversation about who gets what shared too early with too many people almost always creates exactly the tension you are trying to prevent. A woman I know shared her plans with her 3 adult children, thinking it would bring relief. Within weeks, one child was questioning her choice to stay in the house. Another felt the division was unfair. The third went quiet in a way that said everything without saying anything. She told me they stopped seeing their mother. They started seeing the estate. That is the risk. Have your plan. Keep it with your attorney. Share what needs to be shared when the time is right. But your retirement is not a negotiation table. You earned everything you have. You decide what happens to it. Quietly, privately, on your own terms. Secret is how much you have done for others. This one surprised me when I first understood it. Do not keep score out loud. Do not remind people of your sacrifices. Do not catalog what you gave up, what you endured, what you carried for the sake of others, even when it is all completely true. Even when you earned the right to say it 1,000 times over. Because the moment you speak it, it stops being a gift. It becomes a debt. And people who felt loved begin to feel obligated. The things you did for the people you love, do them and release them. That is how love stays clean. That is how relationships stay light. Keep your sacrifices quietly. They are not less valuable for being unspoken. They are actually more so. Secret 7. How lonely you sometimes feel now. This last one is the hardest, and I want to say it carefully because I do not want you to misunderstand. There is a particular loneliness that comes with age. Friends who are gone. A world that moves faster than your legs do. Quiet evenings that stretch longer than they used to. That loneliness is real, and it deserves to be acknowledged. But here is what I have learned about sharing it freely with friends and family. When you tell people how lonely you are, They feel responsible, and they cannot always fix it. And the guilt of not being able to fix it makes them come around less often, not more. They love you, and they cannot solve what they cannot solve. And the weight of that inability quietly pushes them away. So instead of telling people you are lonely, invite them. Invite them to coffee, to a walk, to a phone call for no reason. Fill the loneliness with connection rather than confession. Let people feel like a gift you are choosing rather than an obligation they cannot escape. That shift, small as it sounds, changes everything. 7 things: your finances, your daily health complaints, your opinions about other families, your regrets, your inheritance plans, your sacrifices, and the depth of your loneliness. Not secrets born of shame, secrets born of wisdom, of knowing finally, after all these years, what deserves to be protected. Peace after 70 does not come from being completely known by everyone. It comes from knowing yourself well enough to decide what stays yours. Your dignity is yours. Your freedom is yours. Your right to move through these years without being managed, judged, or second-guessed, completely yours. I spent too many years handing pieces of my peace away in conversations that did not need to happen. I am 97 now, and the quiet I have found is the most valuable thing I own. Guard yours. Share it only with people who have earned it, and keep the rest tenderly, wisely, gratefully for yourself. Leave me a comment telling me which of these 7 surprised you most. I read every single one, because at 97, a good conversation is still one of the finest things left. Take care of your peace.